Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals has come and gone for the Toronto Raptors as they lose 108-100 to the Milwaukee Bucks. And we'll break that down in a little bit here. And Game 2 in Milwaukee on Friday night, 8:30 tip-off. So you are listening to the TO SportsTalk podcast. This is Season 2, Episode 19. But before we break down the Milwaukee Bucks and that whole series that is upon us now, let's take it back to Philly for Game 7. I mean, we would be so stupid not to mention this first.
The shot. Now, this has to be my or everyone else's top 5 greatest Toronto sports moments.
Toronto sports in general.
Not really achievements because, like you said, TFC won a couple years back. The Argos won. Those weren't really moments. They were just accomplishments, right? I'm talking about the Joe Carter home run.
We're talking drama-filled.
Drama-filled. I'm talking about the bat flick. I'm talking about Edwin's home run in the extra innings of the wild card game. I'm talking about these moments. This Kawhi Leonard shot has to be in the top 3. I think it's just below bat flip and Joe Carter's home run. I think it's number 3.
Now, my personal thought is it's 2. I think we can all agree that Joe Carter's is number 1. Obviously,
you think this is over bat flip?
The scenario is okay. They're very, very close. I mean, it's not much apart. We can obviously agree Joe Carter is number 1. Hitting a 3-run shot to walk off the World Series. I mean, there's nothing more than that.
No, you can't beat that.
No.
You literally cannot beat that. Unless you're in triple overtime, Game 7 Stanley Cup Finals, and the Leafs somehow win.
But even then,
somehow get there.
But even then, a walk-off 3-run. I don't know. I mean, we weren't alive back then, but I'm pretty sure they were losing in that game. And then he hits the 3-run shot.
This was against the Phillies or the Braves?
Phillies.
The Phillies. Yeah. So this was the second one.
Yes.
Okay.
93. Yeah. But going to Bautista's bat flip and obviously the shot from Kawhi Leonard, the scenarios are very different, but they're both, I'd say, very equally as dramatic. With Bautista, I think it was the dramatics of the top of the 7th inning with the whole Shin-Soo Choo thing with the bat, and then we're like, are you kidding me? This is how we're going to lose? Mm-hmm. The Jays trade all their players, and they get all these stud players. They make that huge run. They win the division just to lose in that fashion. And then the emotion of 3 straight errors, and then the 3-run shot by Jose, the bat. I mean, the emotion was all over the place in that game.
So I think the emotion, if you want to stand by the emotion part of both scenarios, I think Bautista's emotion was more than Kawhi's, but the importance of each game, I think that you got to give it to the Kawhi shot.
And then you obviously say the Kawhi Leonard, the shot, is a buzzer beater, off-balance, tough shot to win the series in Game 7. He missed that shot. It goes to overtime, and we have no idea.
First time in NBA history that happened.
Game 7 buzzer beater,
I couldn't believe that.
It really shocked me.
Jordan did do it in the NBA Finals, but I think that was in like Game 5, I think.
Right, so
that was a buzzer
7.
beater. It wasn't Game 7. Right. Game 7, I was obviously watching it, and you were yourself, and people say it was a lucky shot. Listen, this great defense by Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. Awesome defense.
Now, I gotta say, Shannon Sharp on Undisputed. I mean, we all know our feelings towards Skip Bayless because he hates Kawhi Leonard. Period. So he's gonna bash him left and right no matter what he does. Right. Shannon Sharp made a great point. Because you hear Skip Bayless and he's chirping, right? He's lucky shot.
Couldn't have happened to a worse guy.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. But then Shannon Sharp says, okay, hold on. He probably, and he ideally did, get a lucky bounce. Yeah. The shot was not lucky. The bounce, well, of course, whenever you get a bounce in sports, it's lucky.
You had 2 guys draped all over you, and Joel Embiid was this close to blocking that shot. Kawhi Leonard literally arced it.
Yeah, well, right? To get it over Joel.
Exactly,
yeah.
And he doesn't shoot like that very often.
It's more or less a line drive shot
exactly,
from Kawhi.
Yeah. So he knew that Joel Embiid was going to be up in his grill, shot it over him, and over the 7-foot whatever wingspan of Joel Embiid. Well, it's probably wingspan is probably more than that. And then, like you said, if it was a lucky bounce or whatnot, it ended the same way. Raptors win, and
the emotion. I mean, look,
see, this is what this franchise needed.
We always talk about the a defining moment in a franchise. You talk about baseball. We've already talked about two of them: the Bautista flip and the Joe Carter shot. For the Leafs, I mean, there really hasn't been. I mean, maybe you could say Doug Gilmour's like wraparound back in the early 90s.
Mike
there.
Sundin's in the goal from the blue line, and I think that was triple overtime against the Sens off the post. You can say that. But this right here is probably, other than the Vince Carter dunk, but that was in a dunk contest. I think this is it.
Oh, for sure it is.
I think this is it. And
I think a lot of people were saying game 1 against Miami back when the Raptors made the conference finals last time when Lowry hit the half court shot to tie it and send it into overtime.
Because Miami.
Yeah. In the second round of game 1 of round 2 back when they made the conference finals. I think it was 2016. I didn't even know
we faced Miami.
Yeah, you faced I think it was Indiana in round 1, then Miami in round 2. Both went to 7. And then, and then obviously lost to Cleveland. I think it was in 6 games that year.
That was 2 years ago.
I think it was 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. But that, I mean, like people could have said that was the biggest shot, but then again, they lost that game in overtime, and it was only game 1, so you can't really say that too much. If they won that game, then you can maybe say that. But no, I mean, we can all agree this is the best moment in Raptors franchise history, hands down.
In heartbreak after heartbreak,
and 18 years ago. Vince Carter had the chance to do what Kawhi Leonard did. In Philly.
Missed it, and then the Sixers won. And then the roles are reversed. And I think that this was the perfect opportunity. This shot right here is the defining moment of the Toronto Raptors. And this franchise needed it so badly.
The question I have now is, would DeMar DeRozan make that shot?
Absolutely not.
Exactly.
And
that is why Masai Ujiri went out in the offseason and pulled the huge trigger, acquiring Kawhi, Danny Green for DeMar and Jakob Poeltl. That right there is the defining moment why that trade happened.
Yes, and of course we were all scared about Kawhi Leonard supposedly saying he doesn't want to play in Toronto, he's going to sit out the whole year, but you're basically trading in a Honda Civic for a Rolls Royce. Simple as that. Like this guy, you don't realize how good he is until you watch him live on TV and watch him in the playoffs. Top 5 player in the league, the best defensive player in the league, and he still doesn't get the respect that he deserves, in my opinion. He's getting close to that because of his playoff performance, but still. Now, who is Stephen A's co-host? Is that Max Kellerman?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, I think it was him. He said that Kawhi Leonard is more clutch than Kobe Bryant before the shot happened. And everybody disagreed. Even Raptor fans could have told you it's Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Now, even after the shot, I still disagree. I think that Kobe Bryant is more clutch than Kawhi Leonard, but the gap is smaller.
Yeah, big time. That shot, man.
Right. And I think that he did something similar to this shot against the Miami Heat when they won it in. Yeah. I think so, something like that. But what else can you say about this guy? Now we can say something about what happened last night in the fourth quarter with Kawhi.
Do you want to?
Well, okay. First of all, is there anything else you want to talk about this?
The emotion that, and it's not just the emotion in the crowd, it was Kawhi Leonard's emotion when he made that shot, or more or less when he was waiting for it to bounce in. He took the shot, he went down in the crouch, waiting, and then goes up, and I think nobody has seen that type of emotion from Kawhi, and to see his teammates mobbing him like crazy, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So with that shot being made, does the Raptors re-signing Kawhi kind of maybe inch a little bit more into the favor of the Toronto Raptors?
Absolutely.
Or, that's the kind of question that people are saying now, or does it do anything? I don't know.
And plus, I think the emotion of all the players from both teams, you saw Embiid after the game was crying his eyes out. And people are, hold on. And people are ragging on him for doing that, saying like, oh, do that behind closed doors, do that in the locker room, don't do it.
Emotion.
No, yeah, exactly. This guy puts his heart and soul out on the floor, and he played 40-something minutes.
And
he looked good, and he was sick. So the people that are bashing Joel Embiid for showing his emotions a bit, grow up. If you were in that same situation, you would do the same thing. I would do the same thing.
And the fact that he did actually do another airplane in that game, it was very, very subtle, but he did do one.
I don't know. I don't really have a problem with him doing that.
I do, because it's quite stupid, actually. The fact that you have a
I'm a Joel Embiid fan.
You have a terrible series, and then you have one good game, and you act like an idiot.
Yeah.
That's where I'm like, okay, buddy, if you're Kawhi Leonard and you're knocking down 35 a night and no one can guard you, yeah, show as much emotion as you damn well please. Now, but the fact that you have one double-double in the series for the first 5 games, there's no need for that.
Yeah, and obviously he was battling injuries, being sick or whatever. Now, hold on. What's next for the 76ers? Jimmy Butler's up. Tobias Harris is up. Brett Brown is coming back as a coach, which is fine.
You sure he is?
Yes. It's been confirmed he is. I have no problem with him staying at all. Now, Jimmy Butler wants a max deal. I don't know if he was great in the series. He was great in the playoffs. Max deal, though, I'm not sure. But I think the 76ers can't afford to lose this guy. I think they got to give him a max deal.
They have to. Look, Jimmy Butler was the reason why this series went to 7 games.
Harris, you can let go. Tobias Harris, you can let go. Or if he wants to take a pay discount, I doubt he will. But let him walk. But Jimmy Butler, you really need to keep him.
Now, moving on from the 76ers and the Raptors series, I think now that that's done, our focus now changes to the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, Game 1 obviously was last night, and the Raptors came out guns a-blazing. They did exactly what they needed to do. They had an 11-point lead after the first quarter. 34-23. They were making their shots. They were playing defense. Literally exactly what you wanted to see from the Raptors in the first quarter. But as I said before, and it's pretty obvious, it doesn't matter about the size of run that a team goes on. It's a matter of when the run happens and how does a team counteract it.
Right.
The Raptors had a 15-0 run in that first quarter. Didn't matter. The way they ended the game, the Raptors missed their last 9 shots, and Milwaukee went on a 10-0 run to win the game.
Now, it's a huge issue if you can't close off games. And this was, listen, 3/4 of the game, the Raptors played awesome. But that fourth quarter, like you mentioned, horrendous.
Now, you want to mention Kawhi Leonard about how he got 2 points in the fourth quarter, and every single player other than Kyle Lowry in that fourth quarter. All right, this is the numbers with everybody else. 0 of 15.
That's
nobody other than Kyle Lowry made a field goal in the fourth quarter.
And we can rag on Kyle Lowry.
He was dynamite. Playoff career high.
Okay, there you go. But especially me, because I do rag on him a little bit more than other people. But he had an amazing game. 40 minutes, 30 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 10 for 15 shooting, 3 for 4, 7 for 9 for 3. Now, this team cannot rely on Kawhi Leonard as much as in this game.
He only shot 10 of 26, which is not very good.
No, it's not good, but he did have 31 points. Now, Danny Green needs to wake up.
There's a lot of guys that need to wake up.
No,
Pascal Siakam needs to wake up. The guy shot 6 for 20, and he was forcing contested shots left and right all over the place.
Okay, but all I'm saying is that Danny Green was nowhere to be found.
Agreed.
In the playoffs at all.
He had one good game.
Okay, well, there you go. But Pascal Siakam, we know what he can do. That's why, he had a bad game. We know what he can do. Danny Green, really, you're getting 35 minutes. You're putting up 6 points, and you're not even playing that well defensively? I don't know.
I thought he did all right defensively, but...
Well, I mean, when you need points, and we know what Danny Green can do. He can shoot the 3.
Yep.
And... Personally, I just think that he needs to wake up because I haven't seen, like you said, one game in this playoffs, against Orlando Magic. Everyone should look good against the Magic.
I'm going back to Pascal Siakam because we know what he did in regular season. We know he shot like 55% from the field in the regular season.
Probably still nagging injury.
In the playoffs, he has only gone over 50% twice. Game 1 against Philly. Actually, no, hold on. No, sorry. He was very good against Orlando, but ideally everybody was. But against Philly in Game 1, he was great. And the rest of the way, in Game 6, he was pretty good. He shot 50%. But other than that, guys, other than, Game 6 against Philly and Game 1 against Philly and then the whole Orlando series, Pascal Siakam hasn't been good.
But he's a second-year pro.
He's the Raptors' second scoring option. I'm sorry, if he's not going to perform, this team's not going anywhere.
I understand that, but he's a second-year pro. He's, 24 years of age? Sure, he
25.
Okay, 25. Second-year pro, though. Coming off the bench last year to starting role this year. First year having a deep playoff run. I look at the veterans. I look at Serge Ibaka had a great Game 7 against Philly.
He was not very good in game one against Milwaukee.
Well, that's why I'm calling him out now.
And Marc Gasol had a horrendous time guarding Brook Lopez, who had 29 points and 11 rebounds.
And this is the quote-unquote defensive guy we needed.
And I said this in the video, and I'm going to say it to you. If you told me coming into this game that Giannis would go 24 and 14, and he shot 7 of 16, which isn't like
that's average for Giannis.
It's nothing crazy out of the water. Mirotic only had 13 on shot 3 of 9. Middleton had 11 on 4 of 12, and Bledsoe 9 points on 3 of 12. If you told me those numbers and did not tell me Brook Lopez's, I would say this:
Raptors win.
How much did the Raptors win by?
Yeah.
And they didn't, because Brook Lopez shot 12 of 21 and had 29 points, 11 boards, he had 4 offensive rebounds.
He exposed Marc Gasol, simple as that. Now, people were asking you, and this was a podcast question, but let's get into it now. How do you contain Giannis? The one thing you have to do, you can't really shut him down, but you can contain him. Do not let him drive. Let him shoot the ball. If he pump fakes, don't jump up. Let him shoot. Do not let him drive. If he drives, it's going to be a dunk or an easy layup. This guy's lengthy as hell. Let him shoot a field goal or a 3.
Now, what we saw in that game is that even when the Raptors did double him on the drive, he still found a way to get some shots in.
I'm just saying, though.
But no, I get that.
Don't let him drive.
But then you run into issues, right? If the Raptors start doubling him on the drive, and then he kicks it to a wide open guy from 3, and I'm going to trust Mirotic from 3. I'm going to test Lopez from 3, for God's sakes. Now Middleton and Bledsoe, and even Malcolm Brogdon, all those guys can shoot 3s.
Right, but
so if you contain Giannis, all these other guys can beat you.
Right, but I would take that chance, because if Giannis drives 1-on-1, he's gonna make it. Like, simple as that. A 3 from these guys, it's a lesser chance. It's still a very high chance because it's a wide-open 3, but it's a lesser chance than Giannis scoring driving, right? So, with the amount of players Milwaukee has, it's going to be extremely hard to win this series, especially when you're down 1-0. Yeah. Right? It's going to be very difficult.
You win game 2, then it's a totally different ballgame.
Yeah.
It really is. And now, for the Raptors, we talked about, obviously, the big guys getting the bulk of the minutes, right? I mean, other than Danny Green, all the starters were 40-plus minutes. And we talked about Ibaka not having a great game. Fred VanVleet has been horrendous all playoffs, except for game 1 against Orlando. And in that game yesterday, he had 2 points on 1 of 4 shooting. He was a minus 10 in 13 minutes. Norm Powell, I don't know why they didn't play him a little bit more. 10 minutes, he had 6 points on 2 of 5 shooting, 2 of 4 from 3, and he did miss a small little bunny there to start the fourth quarter. So
when's OG coming back?
He won't be back till either late in this round or in the next round.
Could be out until Eastern Conference Finals, and that was a month ago. Buddy, Eastern Conference Finals, maybe he had a setback. I don't know.
No, he won't be back until at least the latter part of this series.
But I look at the veterans that need to step up. I called out Lowry. He succeeded. All right. Danny Green and Serge Ibaka are the 2 guys I'm like, and you can say Marc Gasol to a certain extent defense-wise, but points-wise, Serge Ibaka and Danny Green. That is as simple as that, especially Danny Green. Should be averaging close to 12 or 11 points in the playoffs, and I don't even think he's doing that.
But even then, that's only 5 points more than he got to the
but that's
last
5
game,
points
right?
more. Listen, the Raptors only lost by 8. If Danny Green shot better than, I don't even know what percentage he shot, they could have probably won.
He only shot 1 of 5. I mean, look, if he shot 1 of 9, then yeah, that's a problem. But you look at guys like Pascal, dude, he shot 30%. Yes, Danny Green shot 20%. Yeah, but Danny Green also took 15 less shots. Siakam was awful. He was awful in the game. And that right there, he is your second scoring option. He has to be good.
Yeah. No,
and he was not.
I agree with you. I mean, a +1, if that really means anything.
It doesn't mean squat. Really.
Yeah, I mean, we know what Pascal can do. Maybe this is a little bit of a wake-up call for Pascal, but I mean, really. Serge Ibaka especially, great Game 7, like I mentioned before, was nowhere to be found in Game 1. And listen, you're down 1-0. You're down 1-0, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, it wasn't even the points that was a problem. And listen to this here. The offensive rebounds were 15-8 in favor of the Bucks. They were clearly crashing the glass. Big reason of that is obviously Brook Lopez. And turnovers were 12-12. Now, that's not an issue.
No.
But the 20-15 in points off of those turnovers, that's an issue. Yeah. Points in the paint,
fast break points.
Points in the paint, they were plus 18. Second chance points, they were plus 11. Fast break points, they were plus 10.
But
those like look, shooting percentage, they were only 3% better. We actually shot the 3 better. Free throw line, we were the exact same. Those don't look bad. And you look at the numbers here, well, the Raptors have 3 guys in double figures, 2 guys had 30 points. You should win the game. But it's the small things. It's the points leading to turnovers. It's the second chance points, the points in the paint. Those small things that people don't really look at, that's what killed the Raptors.
In round 1, we said that we didn't want to face the Pistons because of their bigs.
Right.
And it showed that right now against Milwaukee, we can't bang with their bigs.
Brook Lopez is a freak of nature in there, man.
And that guy they got in free agent, in the trade deadline. There you go.
Nikola Mirotic, yeah.
I mean, with the addition of Marc Gasol, we thought that would have lessened the load, but it's still not great. In the first 2 rounds, who were the bigs on the Magic? Vukovic. Okay. Who else? And that's it. Aaron Gordon, maybe. I don't know about that. And then in Philly, you had Simmons and Embiid. Which, I mean,
those
they're
are 2 damn
not
good players.
They are 2 damn good players, but I look at Embiid really banging the bodies more than Simmons. Okay, that's one.
Yeah, for sure.
That's one guy. These 2 guys, I mean,
Mirotic only had 6 rebounds in the game, so he didn't really.
I'm just saying though, you should be able to beat these guys in the paint, or at least defend well. They didn't. I mean, who knows if home court was a factor? It might have been, but I can't believe the Raptors lost this game.
Look, they have to shoot better. And I'm not just saying the 3 because
they defend better.
They shot, 36% from 3. They knocked down 15 threes. Yeah. I'm not going to complain about that. But it's the fact that your best 2 guys didn't really shoot the ball that well. Lowry is your 3rd scoring option, and he was your best guy on the floor. Your other 2 shot under 40%. Yeah. That can't happen if this team wants to win. It just can't. Pascal's got to shoot over 45%. Kawhi's got to shoot about 50% if this team wants to win.
You need to split going back home. You cannot go down 2-0.
Yeah.
Especially against a team which was the best in the league. I think everyone forgets about it. They were better than the Golden State Warriors in the regular season, folks.
60-22.
60-22. And we were, 57 and something?
58, I think it was.
58 and 24. I mean, this is a test. But, man, I would love to see the Raptors make it to the finals, but I don't know. What are your predictions? We got to do it now. We always do it. Personally, I think the Raptors are going to be out. I mean, I don't want that to happen. I really don't, but I'm a realistic Raptors fan.
What do you think? How many games?
Oh, they're definitely going to fight because they've came this close. They're going to fight. I'm going to say
6.
I'm going to say 7, but I think Milwaukee's going to take it at home. I'm sorry, but I look at this Bucks team, and yeah, sure, I said that the Boston Celtics were going to win, but that was because I was just going for an underdog situation. I really think that with all the players on this Milwaukee Bucks team, this is probably one of the deepest teams I've seen.
Yeah, big time. I mean, not only do you
That's not a super team.
Right. I mean, you have all these other guys, right? You have Mirotic, who's a steady player. Giannis is the Greek freak. Brook Lopez can clearly do what he did last night.
Bledsoe, Malcolm Brogdon, Grant Hill. They have who's an underrated.
George Hill.
Is it? Oh, I say Grant.
He shot 0 of 6 in the last game.
The Detroit Pistons legend. Yeah.
Eric Bledsoe, Chris Middleton. I mean, these guys are great players. Ilyasova is one of the best in the league at taking charges, and he still had 7 points and 3 boards in 14 minutes.
I don't want to say, but I'm going to say Bucks in 7. What about you?
I'm going to say...
Okay, you got to be realistic. Of course I want the Raptors to win. Of course I do. But going down 1-0 against a team like this...
I'm going to say 6.
Bucks in 6 or Raptors in 6?
Bucks.
Okay.
Just because Kawhi Leonard and Pascal are not going to shoot that bad every game. They're not.
Kyle Lowry, maybe.
He might not shoot that great every game. Yeah. But... you were expecting guys like Danny Green and Marc Gasol and Siakam and Leonard to shoot the ball better. Look, your starting unit, only one guy was over 50% from the field. Your next best guy was 38%. That's not good enough. Now, will that change? Will the Raptors be better in Game 2 with that? Again, we'll have to wait and see. But I can pretty much guarantee that Kawhi Leonard is going to come out with a flipping vengeance there in Game 2. I'm hoping I'm right, but I don't know.
I mean, the Raptors team came this far. They're not going to go out in 4 or 5.
No.
They're going to put up a fight. Kawhi Leonard, like I said, is top 5, maybe even the best player in the playoffs right now.
Right.
He's going to come out flying. So It's going to be tight, but I'm still going to go with the Bucks.
Well, if you do
don't hate me for saying
if you do say Bucks in 7, then I'm pretty sure that's the farthest Raptors ever get in franchise history because I think they lost in 6 to Cleveland that year.
Are you in the finals a couple years? Are you sure?
The conference finals, they lost in Toronto, so we didn't have home court that year. So either you got swept or you lost in 6.
Yeah.
So the Raptors probably lost in 6 that series. So if that's the case, and you go to 7. Hey,
didn't we go? I thought we got swept. I know. We got.
No, well, we got swept last year against Cleveland.
Yeah, I know, but I thought the year before.
You did. But I'm talking about the year prior when we got to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's so many playoffs.
I'm pretty sure it was in 6. So if the Raptors go 7 games, hey, that's the farthest they've ever gotten. But again,
it's still
I know.
a failure.
You got to take it one game at a time. That's really all you can do.
And
Game 2 goes on Friday at 8:30 in Milwaukee. I wouldn't say a must-win, but a pretty damn must-win for the Toronto Raptors in Game 2.
So let's talk about the draft lottery.
Do you want to go to the next round where Golden State and Portland?
Yeah.
And the Golden State Warriors won Game 1 by 22 points.
I look at this series
116-94 without Kevin Durant.
I look at this series and I say Dame and CJ McCollum have to come out.
They have to be. No, they have to be what they were in the last series against.
And more.
Yeah, really.
And more.
Because you look at Game 1, Dame had 19 and McCollum had 17. Then you look at Curry and Clay, 36 and 26. I mean, they were the better players.
This moment is where the Golden State Warriors thrive. Finals, NBA Finals, doesn't matter what happened in round 1 or 2. They look good.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, this moment they thrive. They've been there. They've done that so many times. Golden State in 5. I'm sorry. I would love to see the Portland Trail Blazers make it to the NBA Finals. It's not going to happen.
No,
Golden State in 5.
I'm sorry. I'm happy for Portland for getting this far. But again, I just don't see them even coming close to the Golden State Warriors. They might take one at home, but I think they're going to lose in 5 too.
I think so too. So let's talk about the draft lottery because that happened 2 nights ago.
And the New York Knicks had the best odds to win the Zion Williamson sweepstakes.
The Knicks, the Cavs, and the Suns all had the best odds.
Okay.
And the Knicks, like the Knicks always do, lose. And Stephen A. Smith was going crazy. And you know what? I don't blame him. The Knicks haven't won a championship since the 70s. Nothing's gone right for them. And it's a laughingstock of an organization. But congratulations, before we get on to the New York Knicks and all that mumbo jumbo, congratulations to the New Orleans Pelicans for winning the first overall pick. And listen, this is what this franchise needs.
And think about it this way. If you're Anthony Davis, and I mean, he clearly we're all hearing that he's going to be out of New Orleans
still after
well, I don't know about that. Yeah. But he even said that.
He did say that.
It was a quote. There's a quote from him.
Yes.
Really?
He did say that AD was. I think it's on the score. But no, Instagram or just go on the app. But he did say that he still wants to leave the Pelicans. Now, I don't blame him for staying this because why would he just say, oh, well, since we got a good player, you know what, I'm going to stay. It's already too far gone. He said he wanted to go a couple months ago. He's going to go.
He's saying that now, but what if he touches the floor at the start of the season and he's like, oh, Zion's actually pretty damn good. Let's see what happens. I don't know.
It doesn't matter if AD still wants to play with the Pelicans. The Pelicans need to trade this guy. They need to trade this guy. And I thought of a mock trade in my head that I didn't see anywhere else. So the Knicks have the 3rd overall pick. Now, before the draft lottery even happened, they said that if the Knicks won the 1st overall pick, they would trade for Anthony Davis straight up. Now you can say, you can kind of tell you how we want, but that didn't happen. Now they have the 3rd overall pick. RJ Barrett is probably going 3rd.
I see what you're getting at here.
So what I'm saying,
if you're the Pelicans, do you trade
not straight up because Anthony Davis for RJ Barrett? No way, that's going to go through. You would trade Anthony Davis to the Knicks for RJ Barrett and maybe Dwight Smith
Jr.
Not Dwight Smith.
Oh, yeah.
That's a baseball player.
That's a Blue Jays.
Smith Jr., whatever his name is. That guy they got from Memphis for Kristaps.
Yeah.
Or a future first, whatever. But I think that if the Pelicans were smart, and the New York Knicks are obviously going to do it because they're in turmoil right now. They need somebody on their team.
Dennis Smith Jr.,
not Dwight Smith Jr. But I think they do that.
It wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't.
If you're the New Orleans Pelicans, that would be amazing. Amazing to have both Duke stars on your same team. Hell yeah. I think they got to do that.
And that would bring in a lot of fans.
Listen, it doesn't matter if Anthony Davis wants to leave or stay. You trade him anyways.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so now you agree with me.
Well, I mean, look, I guess I looked at it from an Anthony Davis standpoint. Now that he might be getting a chance to play with Zion Williamson, arguably the next generational player in the NBA,
which he probably will be.
I mean, he personally might think, oh, maybe I'm making a mistake, maybe a little bit. But if you're the management and you know the fans don't want AD back because they know he doesn't really want to be there, and it's just like a complete mess. So yeah, I do see them trading,
and I do see the Knicks actually doing that. Be honest with you. And I really thought that the Chicago Bulls would have won it because it was in Chicago. But can we stop this all conspiracy theory being rigged? Listen, okay, you can say what you want about the Lakers jumping up a couple spots, but whatever. You have the Pelicans with the first overall pick, the Memphis Grizzlies second, and the Knicks third. That's not rigged.
Sorry. You talking about conspiracies. I just scrolled down here. Conspiracy theorists think Kawhi's shot went in because of magnets.
Magnets? How is it? So wait, the basketball has magnets in it?
Or the rim? Or
it kind of looks like RJ Barrett a little bit.
That's Patrick McCaw.
Oh. There's going to be conspiracy theorists all over the place, but going to the draft.
So the Grizzlies get the number 2 overall pick.
And with that, they're probably going to select John Morant.
John Morant
from
Murray State.
You know what? That's a pretty good pick.
He's
personally,
damn good,
man.
He's damn good.
I'd pick Barrett over him, but that's just me.
Because you know him.
Well, really. I'm just saying.
This kid's something else. The reason he's going over RJ Barrett tells you something, doesn't it?
Yeah. And then the Knicks, like I said, if they don't do the whole Anthony Davis trade, they will select RJ Barrett. I can't see why they wouldn't.
And the Grizzlies actually jumped 6 spots for that second overall pick. They must have had the 8th spot in the lottery. So
the Grizzlies and the Pelicans with the number 1 and 2 picks rigged? I don't think so.
And the Lakers got 4,
which they jumped up quite a bit.
Yeah, and the Cleveland Cavs get 5. There you go.
And then the Bulls, I think, got 6 or 7.
Bulls got 7.
They got shafted. Actually, no, we're the Suns.
6th.
The Suns got shafted. The Suns had the best odds. Well, then again, a 3-way tie between the Knicks, Suns, and Cavs of getting the first overall pick. So
how do they have this? Why do they have the same?
I think they had the same record.
No, they didn't.
No, I don't know, but yes, it happened because something to do with the new draft lottery odds or something like that. But I know it was those 3 teams were a 14% chance of. Right. So maybe it's something new. I have no idea. But another L for the New York Knicks. What else can happen? What else can go wrong?
17 and 65 last year. What can they do next year?
Without Chris
15 and 67.
But with Anthony Davis, they can make.
Okay, all right. Let's just because we talked last week about Kevin Durant going to the flipping Knicks. So let's just calm down with these.
And Kyrie Irving.
All these big guys go to the Knicks just like that. You know.
But like you said, what's that going to do for the team?
Oh, nothing.
Well, maybe make the playoffs, lose in the second round.
Really, there's gonna be no chemistry at all.
No. So do you want to go around the league here, or
we pretty much did? I think we can go to baseball now. Okay. And the Toronto Blue Jays have been awful lately. They've won 3 of their last 14 games. They have not won a lot. And
before we talk about that, I just spit in your face.
Yeah, you did. Nice.
Congratulations to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in your New Jersey.
Yes.
Your New Jersey. Yes. Maybe you should hang it up on the wall there.
No, I'm kind of gonna wear it.
No one can see it. Hang it up.
I want to wear the damn thing. I'm tired of wearing a Brett Laurie jersey.
Or a Scott Rowland.
Well, I haven't worn that one in a long time, but
switch it up. But anyways, congratulations to him. A little light spot in the Jays' darkness right now. Yeah. It's looking bad.
Yeah, it is. But Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and the crazy thing is about his home runs.
Home runs.
Yeah. He had a multi-home run game there in that game, and the first home run and the numbers are incredible. Mm-hmm. We talked about the. What was it? The hardest hit ball that he hit. I think it was on the weekend or something. He hit like 118 miles an hour, which is the fastest Jays hit ever.
So he hit the ball 118 hours. So it was coming at him at like.
Well, it was
90 something.
Yeah, it was coming at 97, and the exit velocity was 118 miles an hour, the fastest hit in Jays history. And then he backs that up in San Fran. The home run that he hit, put it into perspective, the wall is 399 feet. He hit it 438 feet. It was 111 miles an hour in the exit velocity. Stupid. Later in the game, he hits it 450-something feet. 113 miles an hour off the bat. Crushing.
See, what did we say? Give him time and get him comfortable in the big leagues. It's not an easy thing to do. Even if you're at Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s caliber, it's not an easy thing to do. Listen, he had his struggles for a couple weeks, and now all he needed was those couple home runs, and he's going to thrive, man. This is what he needed.
Even in yesterday's game where he didn't get a hit, he still had an RBI, and he still walked.
You're not to get a home run or hit in every game.
But I think that even though he didn't get a hit, and people love looking at batting averages.
But I'm going to say it. His struggles are behind him. He's not going to have what he had in the first call-up, right? He's going to be the Vladdy that we know and love. Thank God.
I mean, he's been incredible.
I was a little nervous.
Because you look, back when Jose Bautista was here, he walked a lot. Right. You know, he walked a lot, and his average was low and whatnot. But this guy is 20 years of age, and in 15 games, he's walked 8 times. For a guy who has never played in the big leagues, he's walked 8 times in 15 games. Like we talked about last week about the whole strikeouts. You know, when you have a strikeout per game, it's really not where you want to be. 12 strikeouts in 15 games. It was like 10 and 10 at one point. He's done great lately at not striking out. He's got 6 RBIs, got a couple home runs, a couple doubles in the game. He's been awesome.
He's slowly developing.
And his defense is still pretty damn solid.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that we could talk about the whole Blue Jays team like we are Vladdy.
Eventually.
Hey, next year, maybe the year after. But
yeah, I would say the
year after. I mean, next year is going to be close to wild card.
Next year, I think we're going to see all of the young guys. You're going to see full-time Bo Bichette. You're going to see full-time Kevin Biggio. You're going to see full-time Rowdy Tellez because Smoke will probably be gone. You might, depending on how Nate Pearson continues to pitch down there in the minor leagues, you could see him even next year.
So, with people being gone, because you brought that up, I think it's Marcus Stroman's time to go. I think that...
Well, we haven't heard any more on that front of the trade talks between Stroman and Sanchez. But...
No, but it doesn't matter. We're not going to hear talks. Like you said with the Leafs, we didn't hear talks about Jake Muzzin at all, and it happened, right?
I get that, but we don't really need to dwell on it more because we kind of already touched on it last week.
Right, but I'm just saying that I wouldn't be that... Now, aren't they having a bit of a feud? The Jays manager and Stroman?
No.
Not really. It was something.
It was one heat of the moment in the outing, and everybody, even the coach, he played it down at the end. He's like, I love people that are, emotional guys. They don't want to come out of the ball game, and I get that. And Stroman all said, yeah, we had our thing, and we had a talk after, and we're good. No one's upset. Nothing's wrong.
Well, that's what he has to say to the media.
Well, of course, but he could have come out and be angry and made it a whole spiel. And you think about Marcus Stroman and his ego, as I put in quotes.
Well, why do you say that?
Because people love saying how he's a hothead and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, does he show his emotion on the field? Absolutely, he does. Do people love that? Yeah, that's why I like Stroman. He's got emotion. He's got fire underneath him.
Right, but sometimes that fire backfires, and that makes him look a bit of a.
Yeah, but Charlie Montoya's the guy who's going to put him in his place. He's not like John Gibbons, who's going to yell back at Stroman and have a whole feud going. Charlie's just going to sit there and just talk him down. And that's, from what I got at the end of the game, that's what it looked like.
But for again, a 27-year-old, I think you really got to calm down and be like, listen, save that emotions and swagger for the rookies. Sure, it's good to have it, but you're a veteran in this league. People are learning from you on this Jays team. Yeah. Act a bit more mature.
Well, again,
right? Look, someone like Ryan Brookie, I know he's not pitching right now, but he's maybe looking up to Stroman and Sanchez, obviously, because they're the best pitchers the Jays have. Cool it, bud.
Yeah, I mean, look,
for a rookie, I can understand, but for a veteran, no.
By the way, Ryan Brookie is still on the DL, and there's no news.
I'm just saying, though, he's our only young pitcher, but
talking about him, I'm trying to look up what's going on with him and any
still
news.
Nothing, eh?
I'm looking it up here,
and. When you look that up, I actually did see that. The team is playing poorly, and that the franchise wants fans when they lower beer prices. I did hear that.
Big time.
I mean, wasn't there a thing going on at the Rogers Center where it was $5 for I think a beer and a drink or something?
Yeah.
Or what was that all about?
So I think it's like
for a hot
$5 beers, but it's the reason they shaft you a little bit is because they have
small cans.
Well, probably, but it's one stand for the entire level.
Oh my god!
So imagine the lines for that.
Why?
They don't want to pay the money and build more stands, right? So they just plop one, and people will go there and buy them for cheap beers, right?
Well, I don't think build the stands. They already have the stands, but they just don't want to lose money on the beers by having more stands open.
Yeah.
And I think that's ridiculous. For a team that's averaging 9,000 a game.
It's more than that, but...
Not for long.
Well, again, we'll have to see what happens. But I think with Vladdy here, it's gone up a little bit more. And the guy, look, he's fun to watch.
I was
down there for all 3 games this past weekend against Chicago.
Wow.
And every game, I wanted to sit on the third base side to watch Vladdy, and it was fun.
How much were the tickets for that?
They were not expensive.
Maybe like
the first game, we were 5 rows from the front. It cost me $90 US for 2 tickets. It was incredible.
So
it was
Canadian
awesome.
with taxes,
110, 120 for 2 tickets, 5 rows from the front. I'm not going to complain about that.
Oh, no, I'm thinking it'll be a bit more than that because you paid US dollars, right? So, let's just say 130 with the taxes. Split them.
$65 a ticket.
Yeah, for like tax. Front row seats.
5 rows. You're right on field
for
level.
Leafs or Raptors.
Look like you're paying like $300 at least.
For more.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, the Jays, I mean, when they're not doing well, we got to go to the Buffalo. We got to go to AAA. We got to go to AA. And do you want to get that up here?
I don't know if I mentioned in the last podcast about the guy Andrew Sopko, the guy that that was in the Russell Martin trade that the Jays acquired, the pitcher, and he was doing really good in AA. And I was talking about, hey, they should give him a call up here because he's 24 years old. I think we debated 24, 25 years old. Yeah. He's actually 24. And he actually got a call up to AAA Buffalo.
How was he playing?
He pitched 1 game. He went 5 2/3, gave up a couple of runs, but they weren't earned. They were not earned runs, and he went. That was it. 5 2/3, a clean ball. So good to see there from a pitcher. So that's good to see for the Jays. And Nate Pearson, I mean, continues to pitch amazing. He pitched his first outing in AA. 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs. I think he struck out like 8 guys in 5 innings, and then he pitched another game where he only went 2 innings. Didn't give up a hit and struck out 3.
Wow.
So bottom line, in his New Hampshire Fisher Cats career, he hasn't given up a run yet in like 7 innings of work. So good to see there from Nate Pearson and the Blue Jays youngins.
So I guess we can go around the league for baseball, or do you want to switch to hockey? I don't think
we've only been doing this for 9 minutes.
Well, I mean, you put your phone down. There's really not much to talk about with the Blue Jays.
Well, there's not much to talk about with the Leafs either.
Well, no, we can go around at least there's playoffs and whatnot for hockey. Just thinking here if there's really anything.
Look, honestly, because with the Blue Jays, obviously, so Edwin Jackson threw his first outing as a Blue Jay yesterday. Wasn't the greatest. That guy has been around for a long time. And not even, I think he's like 35 years old, but not even that. It's the amount of teams he's been on. Oh, yeah? I want to see if I can find it here. It's like been like 8 or 9 teams he's been on. Oh, pitching for his MLB record, 14th team. Has Edwin Jackson, so it's crazy to see there for him.
He must be the most moved. Well, I don't think the most, but the most player played with the most teams, maybe.
It's an MLB record. So yeah.
It is a record.
And somebody I want to talk about is Anthony Alford. This guy, I mean, look, he's the quote unquote top. He's the on here. He's the 5th best prospect in the Jays organization.
Yeah.
He's in Buffalo now for I think it's the 3rd year. He's struggling hard.
So would you send him?
I don't know what they're gonna. He's already 24 years old now. He's kind of in that range. Or it's like you've been in the AAA now for quite some time. You wanna start seeing some things happen, and he's been really, really struggling. And again, for Anthony Alford, look, Jays fans, they want him to be good, and I mean, because
is he gonna be good?
Well, I mean, like, where is he here? In AAA Buffalo this year, he's only hitting 182. I mean, is that's strikeouts? He's 44 strikeouts in 31 games. That's not good. I mean, his on-base percentage is only .262. He's walked 10 times. He's got, 5 stolen bases. He hasn't really done anything. And now he's at 24 years old because, again, like I said, he's been in that, last year in AAA he hit .240, which isn't bad. If you want to start seeing progression out of guys and not seeing him hit 180, after hitting 240, you'd love to see him hit 260, 270, because at that point, you'd probably earn a call up to the big leagues. But he's only hitting 182. I don't know. I don't know what to expect for Anthony Alford. I don't know. I mean, he was a converted football player. Was Anthony Alford? He picked baseball over football. But I don't know. I really don't know what to believe when it comes to Anthony Alford. Now, let's flip to the Yankees here, and you showed me something just a second ago. Michael, where is he here? Miguel Andujar. Season-ending injury.
Huge loss for the Yankees.
That's their Vladdy. Well, I wouldn't say they're Vladdy. I mean, he was their big young prospect last year.
He's good. He's really good. So what's this mean for the Yankees? I mean,
they're like hurt with injuries right now. I mean, they are all torn apart when it comes to the injuries. I'm just going to their team here. Dellin Betances on the 60-day DL with right shoulder impingement. Where is it here? John Montgomery was a great pitcher for them last year. He had elbow surgery. James Paxton's on the left knee inflammation. Luis Severino has a right rotator cuff inflammation. And Duhar's obviously gone for the year. Greg Bird, left platter something tear. Didi Gregorius, right elbow surgery. Tulowitzki had another setback. Why? Because he's garbage. Ellsbury, we all know about him. And Judge is still hurt, and Stanton's still hurt. They are decimated with injuries right now.
But they're second in the division.
And somehow they're still where's their they're still 26-16. They've won 3 straight. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They're still kicking everyone's rear end.
Because
they're the Yankees. They're very good, and I think they're getting a lot of other. A lot of other guys are doing things to help, right? Domingo Germán, one of their guys brought up last year, he's 8-1 with a 2.50 ERA. Mm-hmm. That is ridiculous. How's J Happ been doing over there? 4.44, not the greatest ERA for J Happ. But their bullpen, right? Adam Ottavino is fantastic. How's CC doing? He's doing really, really well. Tanaka, how's he been? Again, their pitchers have been doing really well. Gary Sanchez has been stupidly good. He's got 12 home runs.
Yeah.
They're getting a lot of other help. However,
those are a lot of major key injuries.
Now, can these guys continue that pace with those guys still injured? That's the question. Yeah. But they're still 26-16, which is incredible.
So the Phillies are playing in probably one of the worst divisions in baseball right now. They're 24-18. And the Atlanta Braves are behind them with a 22-21 record.
Josh Donaldson's Atlanta Braves.
Yes. Now, the Phillies, Bryce Harper's Phillies, are you shocked they're not doing as well as on paper as they were supposed to be once they did sign Bryce?
I got to admit, I am a little bit shocked. I mean, look, and it wasn't just Bryce Harper that they added. They added quite a few great players. Yeah. They added, I'm going to try and find David Robertson. He's injured right now, but I mean, he's an amazing reliever. JT Realmuto from the Miami Marlins, great young catcher. They also Gene Segura from the Seattle Mariners, Andrew McCutchen. They added amazing players, but
maybe it's just the chemistry. And
see, baseball is different when it comes to chemistry. I mean, look, it is to a certain extent. Obviously, you need that camaraderie, but
I guess they're spending a lot of time together, but not really playing together, right? Yeah. But like they're going to be in, talking with each other a lot more than other teams because baseball, like you said, is one of those sports where nothing really happens for a long time,
right?
And then when it does happen, it's amazing, right? And I'm just checking here. The Miami Marlins are 1-9 in their last 10, 7 straight losses.
They're 10-31. I mean, look, you expect this when they trade away all their players. And I think
once again,
there was a trade a little while ago that, or no, it wasn't a trade. It was like a post. I forgot who posted it. I'm gonna try and find it here. But it was like some of the Miami Marlins players that got traded away, and they're damn good, man.
I guess this is like an Oakland situation a little bit, with them getting good prospects, and then the prospects wanting the money, and then since the payroll of these teams are so low, they can't pay them. I'm guessing. I mean, I don't know.
I'm just showing you a picture of Harold Ramirez. The reason I'm saying this, that is him in AAA, and that guy was in the Blue Jays organization last year. He's hitting .358 in AAA. He's got 13 RBIs and 4 home runs. Again, in Miami, so there's really not a whole lot you want to go from there. But again, and I'm trying to find the number. There were some crazy names they traded this guy, this guy, this guy.
In the past 5 years or 6 years?
It was something like that, and it was bad, man. It was bad. Some of the names that they mentioned, like I mentioned.
Well, they have to trade these guys because they don't have the money to sign.
No, they weren't even the.
So what are they doing?
I don't know. I think Derek Jeter, isn't he like their
Yeah,
their
no,
guy?
He's the president or something, or the co-owner of the Marlins. Why is he the co-owner?
I don't know.
He's probably living there, I'd imagine, but I don't know. Why not the Yankees?
I don't know. I mean, you're living in Miami, right? You get to, and the funny thing is, there's no fans there, so don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, them complaining about it. Well, I mean, once they do get good, they're probably going to get fans, but that's like really any sports team.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find them here. If I can find them, let's see.
How about this? Why don't we do this next podcast? You can just kind of search it up.
Yeah. I really want to find that at some point. But I think you want to move on to the hockey now and
controversy. What's not to expect? Let's start with the West this time.
Do you want to go to the Leafs first? Is there anything? Kyle Dubas re-signed for 6 years.
No.
As a
re-signed as in Brendan Shanahan re-signing.
What did I say?
Kyle Dubas.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Brendan Shanahan.
I was going to say.
Signed for 6 years.
Hey, it's good. I have no problem with the Shanahan plan. It's taken a back seat so far. But
I didn't realize how... I think you and I have talked about it. This offseason for the Toronto Maple Leafs is going to be something else.
It's huge.
I mean, there's so many question marks. I think there's one thing. Matthews, Nylander, Mitchell Marner, John Tavares, Morgan Riley, and Anderson. I think the only guys you look at and are like, those guys are staying 100%.
Marner, not 100%. Like I mentioned, the offer sheet bit. If the Arizona Coyotes or some scrap team that has a lot of cap room offers Mitch Marner the sun and the moon, and the Leafs cannot afford to match it, I'll take my 5 first-round picks. Thank you very much.
Do you think Mitch Marner will? Because I think it's his choice probably.
I don't know, but all I'm saying is that it's not 100%. Simple as that.
No, but I'm saying as in untouchables, as in you wouldn't move them. Yes, Mitch Marner, Nylander, Matthews,
you wouldn't
John
Tavares,
and Frederick Anderson. Those are the guys.
Morgan Riley.
And Morgan Riley. Everybody else is kind of up in the air.
But see, this time, well, not this time last year, but in free agency, once we got Tavares, we all thought this wouldn't happen again, us losing in round 1 against whoever team we faced.
They didn't really change the defense core at all. So
Well, no, with Muzzin they did, and we thought with Muzzin, okay, we know that we're locked in against facing the Bruins, but we should beat them. Listen, with John Tavares alone, I would have thought that we would just outscore everybody in the playoffs.
Now you're looking at the Boston Bruins now, and the Leafs put up the best fight so far.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But, well, like you just mentioned, this offseason is massive for the Leafs. I think that this offseason right here, you could see a lot of names being on. And I don't know if you mentioned, who are the untouchables you mentioned?
Well, the ones at the top of my head were...
Well, no, the ones that you just mentioned, yeah.
Matthews, Nylander, Marner, Tavares, Riley, and Anderson.
Willie Nylander?
Yes.
I don't think it's an untouchable.
No, he is.
No.
Come on.
If you're talking about shakeups here, listen.
Nylander is not your main guy to go. You have Patrick Marleau making about the same money as Nylander.
Yeah, but you have to give up someone good to get something good. Giving up Patrick Marleau is not giving up someone good. If you want... the back end, like we've been mentioning, we're losing a lot of players on the back end. All I'm saying is that he's not an untouchable. I would not.
He's untouchable.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Okay, so then who do you expect to fill the decor? Simple as that.
The Leafs are in a weird spot where they might have to trade Kapanen or Janssen.
Well, that's an option. That is an option. But I think with Nylander, it's
why not Nazem Kadri?
Well, there you go too. Kadri and Nylander. I think that they're both on the chopping block. Listen, nobody's safe other than, like you said, Matthews, Riley, Anderson, Tavares, Marner. They're safe.
What if Nylander came out of the gate this year and came out almost had a point per game? Is he that untouchable?
Well, yes.
Come on,
I would get that.
You can't say that about.
No, but the thing is that you have to give someone up good to get something good.
Right.
And with William Nylander, I understand that he didn't play for a majority, or he didn't play for the first, 3 or 4 months of the season.
2 months.
But we all talk about, October, November.
December 1st.
December 1st, correct. I just think that we all talk about the defense core and how it's so, it's probably one of the worst in the league without Gardner, without everyone being up this year. Because it is. Who do we have? Muzzin, Riley, Zaitsev, Dermott. And Dermott's injured. So there you go. It wouldn't surprise me if Dubas really shakes up things.
He won't trade Nylander. He's already said everything.
Okay, but I would rather him to shake up something massive and for the Leafs to get past the first round.
Look, there's tons of trade chips for the Leafs right now. You've got either Janssen or Kapanen, or heck, you can even do both, even though I don't really think it's a smart move to do both, but you can move both. You got Kadri. You have an aging Patty Marleau, but for a team who's looking to contend and needs a veteran guy and has a little bit of cap room, there you go.
Well, yeah, and...
I'm just saying, there's a lot of trade chips, and I don't know why everybody goes to Nylander.
Well, I'm not saying that I would put him in the same trade category as, okay, we have to trade this guy. I'm not saying we have to trade this guy, but he's not untouchable at all.
I think he is.
Okay.
You signed him to a big deal. You've signed Matthews to a big deal. You signed Riley to a decent deal, and Anderson to a decent deal, and Tavares obviously got his massive amount of money, and Marner's going to get his massive amount of money. That's the core.
But we talk about this offseason as being crazy for the Leafs.
Yeah.
This would be crazy. It's
losing Kadri would be crazy. You're going to lose Jake Gardiner.
It's not crazy of either trading Johnson or Kapanen because we have to.
You don't really have to. I mean,
we can't afford them. We cannot afford both players.
We don't know what they want, really.
I'm guessing it's over 4 for each one. And why wouldn't they be? Both were 20-goal scorers. I think Johnson had, close to 40 points. No, Kapanen had 40 points. So simple as that. Just do the math. It's going to be over $4 million. And we can't afford that with Mitch Marner. So bottom line is, we have to trade one of those guys. That's not being crazy.
It's a pretty big shakeup, though.
Oh, yeah, it's a big shakeup. But being crazy is trading Nylander for the better of this team. Now, I agree with you. Listen, James, I don't think they should do it. But it wouldn't really surprise me if they really shake it up. Because what happens? It would surprise
me if they trade Nylander.
Okay, well, what happens if we don't trade Nylander or do a massive shake-up and, maybe trade Kapanen for, a top 4 D-man. Don't really do much in free agency. Keep Marner. I mean, we swapped out a forward for a defenseman. Whoever that defenseman is, who knows? But chances are, like you said in previous podcast, we're probably going to be facing Boston time out and time again because Tampa's got that first spot
Montreal
locked up.
Comes flying in.
I'm just saying, though, it's.
I don't think Montreal's going to play as good as they did last year. That's just my personal opinion.
No, well, staying on the Leafs, though, bottom line is it's going to be a massive shakeup. And for this team, it's, like I said before, man, it's asset management. Big time, right?
I know, but that's why I'm saying guys like Kapanen or Johnson will probably move. It would not surprise me if Kadri is going to get moved. Marleau, they kind of have to need to move that.
Well,
contract.
Yeah, they need to move Marleau's contract. They need to move Zaitsev's contract. That's just a given. Who knows if they're going to do it? I do think that Marleau is going to be on the team. I don't think he's going to get traded because, like you said, he's a veteran guy, whatever. I do think Zaitsev is probably going to get traded.
Do you think Zaitsev's going to be traded over Patrick Marleau?
I think so.
In the final year of his deal? Really?
I think so. I think that Marleau, like you said, and plus, to be quite honest with you, I would rather have Patrick Marleau than Zaitsev on this. I mean, I don't know.
Marleau wasn't great this year at all.
Zaitsev wasn't great at all this year either. I mean, both of them weren't great, but if I had to choose one for a deep playoff run, it would be Patty Marleau. I mean, could you imagine having Patty Marleau on your fourth line versus other fourth lines? Absolutely.
I get that. I understand that, but you're not going to pay a fourth liner $6 million. It's just not going to happen.
I know that, but I think that if the Leafs, like you said, you're probably going to be losing Johnson or Kapanen.
A guy like Trevor Moore might just slide into that spot nicely.
So there you go. So Patty Marleau on the fourth line, I wouldn't doubt it. But then again, Babcock, will he do it? Probably not. And I think that is someone who loves his...
Look, I think we can all agree if the Leafs don't... I mean, we can all agree on this. If the Leafs don't get out of the first round next year, Babcock is gone.
Absolutely. We're giving him one more year.
Because that's 4 years of first-round exits.
Yeah, and he needs to get out of his security blanket with his Ron Hainsey, Zach Hyman, Patrick Marleau's, and Connor Brown's, and he needs to give more minutes to these players.
A guy like Connor Brown could be moved. Ideally.
Ideally, it's only $2 million for a guy who, like you said, sure, it's a bit of a contract, but I don't think you look at trading him. Listen, it's Marleau, it's Zaitsev. But Kadri, like you say, for the money, it's a great contract.
Yeah, but if he's not going to play in the playoffs, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
It really doesn't.
Lots of question marks for the Leafs. But going to the Marlies. Now, I haven't really been checking this.
I don't think they've played round 3 yet because it's kind of...
So they beat who they beat in round?
Rochester 3-0.
And then the Scary Monsters.
The Cleveland Monsters? The Scary Monsters.
Oh, what I said.
Okay, well. Anyways, so the conference finals begin on Friday, actually. Friday, the Marlies play the Charlotte Checkers in Game 1 in Charlotte. I think that's actually the best team in the league, to be honest with you, from the way the looks of this. But the Marlies knocked out Rochester in 3 games. The Cleveland Monsters, they knocked out 4 straight. They swept them pretty easily. And now they face the Charlotte Checkers. Now, Charlotte is 7-1 in the playoffs so far. So the Marlies are 7-0, the only team that's unbeatable so far in the playoffs at 7-0. They're 7-1. And if you go to the regular season stats, if we can find this here, 18-19 regular season. The Charlotte Checkers were 51-17 this year.
Ridiculous.
So they're a very good team. I think it's Carolina's affiliate still, if I'm not mistaken.
And actually, they're 3 teams. So this is going to be their ECHL team, obviously their AHL team, and the Carolina Hurricanes are all in the finals. The Eastern Conference Finals or Western Conference or whatever, but they're all in the final for their respective playoff brackets.
And Scott Darling is their goalie.
And he's playing great, I bet.
Actually, he hasn't. No, he's not.
He's not playing.
He has not been good at all.
Oh, they do have the rookie goalie.
Nedeljkovic, I think his name is?
Yeah. The guy that we always drafted in the NHL.
And they have Justin Tokarski as well. Look at that. So in the playoffs so far, he's been incredible. He's been incredible in the regular season. He's had an amazing season.
Is that a 904 save percentage I saw?
Where?
Save percentage 904.
Yeah, that's back in that's his career.
That was season. Okay, yeah.
This past year he had a 2.26 and a 916 save percentage, and then in the playoffs this year he got 2 goals against and a 916 save percentage. Right. So he's been really good.
So might as well let's go around the league, and it looks like the Boston Bruins are going to be in the Cup Finals. Now I did say Boston 7, but
I think I said 6.
You said 6 You said Carolina.
I think we both said Carolina because we wanted it. No, because we wanted it to happen.
No, of course I wanted it. But I know I said Boston in 7. Regardless, though, Boston is going to make it to the Stanley Cup Finals. Yeah. I can't see Carolina
Question
coming back from this.
Is Carolina going to win a game and go back to Boston for Game 5?
I don't think so.
Even if they go to Game 5, Boston's going to win it in Boston. I think there's no doubt about that. Boston Game 1, 5-2, won Game 2, 6-2, and then Game 3, 2-1. Now, Game 1 had a really big controversial move, and this is in my eyes here. Carolina was up 2-1 after 2 periods of play. Okay, and let me go to the penalties here. This is where things got really rough. In the first 5 minutes of the third period, Carolina had 3 penalties called on them.
Boarding, roughing, and interference.
3, and that interference against Dougie Hamilton was not a penalty. So they had 3 power plays in the first 6 minutes of the third period when trailing 2-1 in Game 1.
And obviously Boston capitalized.
Boston scored on 2, and they took the lead, and they ended up running away with it 5-2.
Now, they obviously switched to McElhaney in Game 3. It helped a little bit, I guess, but they just didn't get the scoring in Game 3.
Yeah, you gave him 2
goals.
They
lost 2-1. Yeah.
Tuukka Rask has been fantastic.
He is the Conn Smythe winner right now with the players left, 100%. He's looked unbelievable. But, I mean, this is a damn good team, and I think that, it's going to be a dogfight in the Stanley Cup Finals, obviously, because it always is. But, man,
seeing San Jose and freaking Boston go, those are 2 heavyweight teams going at it.
Actually, they said something about this. Let's just say that San Jose wins in Boston. I don't know however the games would work, but let's just say that. San Jose wins Game 7 in Boston and Jump Rope Joe.
Wins in Boston. That would be something else, wouldn't it?
That'd be kind of cool. Sure he was traded away, 10 years ago or something?
Still, that's the team he started
years ago.
with.
Yeah, I know. But awesome. It's a bit dated, but yeah, that'd be kind of nice. And I just, Carolina, you swept the Islanders. Come on.
This playoffs has been insane.
They won,
They came back and beat Washington in 7 in overtime.
They swept the Islanders, and now they're going to be swept.
Right. You swept the Islanders, arguably one of the best teams in the playoffs, because they swept Pittsburgh like it was easy. It's funny. It's so many sweeps. Yeah. It's crazy.
And so many sweeps that we weren't even expecting.
And watching the Leafs go to Game 7 against the Bruins now, you look at it like, the Bruins are pretty damn good. Did the Leafs actually not do as bad as we think they did?
I guess we're taking something out of it, but we still lost. But I know what you mean, though. The Leafs so far have put up the most fight against Boston, and I think Boston fans will even agree with us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So the Western Conference Finals, and more controversy, like I mentioned, about
the hand pass.
The hand pass, was it? Obviously,
yes, it was.
Obviously, it wasn't. And the Sharks. Now, this is the third call this playoffs for the San Jose Sharks in a game-deciding game where they went all towards the Sharks. That Game 7 against Colorado, something similar happened where they said that, who was it offside? Landeskog was offside or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they called it back, which I doubt that was even a thing. This hand pass, and I think something happened in round 1 against Vegas. Oh, yeah, the Joe Pavelski hit.
Yeah, which, you see, that Joe Pavelski, the Joe Pavelski one, look, people want to rip on the refs for it, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Like, it looked like he got hit, and then his head was bleeding. That's not a good thing. I understand they had a 5-minute power play, but you don't allow 3 goals on a power play. You just don't do that.
And you're up 3-1.
Right.
So, I mean, again, I feel bad for Vegas, but I don't really.
In this game, it was 3-1 San Jose. This is in game 3 last night. It was 3-1. Then St. Louis scored 3 straight, took a 4-3 lead, and Logan Couture was just over a minute left, tied it up. And then Erik Karlsson, obviously, on the controversial goal in overtime.
How many goals? He has 14 goals in the playoffs.
Logan Couture. I had him on fantasy. Even though it doesn't freaking matter anymore.
That's unbelievable. Conn Smythe winners so far.
Oh, yeah.
Tuukka Rask and
Logan Couture.
Couture, for sure. I just want St. Louis to smoke San Jose. I mean, both
I'd
teams
like to see San Jose
it.
go to the final. I want to see them win a cup, man. I really do want to see San
Over
Jose.
St. Louis?
Man, look,
I would love
both
to see
teams.
St.
Both teams I want to see do it.
Yeah.
But whoever the heck plays Boston, I want them to beat Boston. Period.
Yeah, and I think San Jose does have a better shot than St. Louis against Boston.
You look at the size of that San Jose team and how hard
and
they
their
play.
defensive core too.
Exactly.
Even though Erik Karlsson looks
now Martin
horrendous
Jones doesn't look great, so how are they going to look when it comes to
Tuukka Rask? Yeah,
exactly. Goalie matchup might be a little weird.
That's why maybe the St. Louis Blues wouldn't be a bad option as well.
But Jordan Binnington hasn't been great. I mean, game 1 he got lit up for 6 goals, and then game 2, obviously, game 3 he gave up 5. So.
Yeah, but again, this is a rookie goalie.
And
this is the reason why
it's the reason they are where they are.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But those 2 losses, I mean, he didn't play well. So.
Yeah. Okay. Simple as that.
But I mean, look, I just want to see one of these teams go into the Stanley Cup final and beat the snot out of the Bruins. I mean, look.
Yeah. It doesn't matter who because both teams have never won it. So there you go.
And Boston has won too many.
Boston sports teams have won too many.
I mean, that's what Boston in general has. Too many. Actually, we didn't even talk about John Tavares leaving the World Championship with that injury, the oblique injury.
Yeah, we did. We talked about it 2 podcasts ago how he was injured. Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he left. He's not playing. But yeah, we already talked about that.
Okay.
And he's going to be out for a month. I don't think we talked about the month issue, but we did talk about how he did get injured.
Tavares out with a oblique injury happened 5 days ago, so I don't know how we talked about it.
No, but that was out with a month. Trust me, we did. 100%.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, see him
a week ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess we can go to the podcast questions to wrap up episode 19.
So we'll do the Twitter podcast questions, and then Blue Jays Wave on Instagram. He gave me some more questions, so we'll go through those as well. And okay, there's quite a few questions. Edward Ernst. It's probably Ernest. Anyways, how do you feel though the Bruins 1 game away from the Cup? It's bittersweet for the reason being the Leafs put up the best fight, and the Boston team looks like they're going to the damn finals.
Right, but listen, this is an unbelievable team, and hats off to the Bruins for, building a great team. Yeah. Honestly, there you go.
Now, Brooke, it says, obviously, Vladdy's home runs and the insanely amazing finishing Game 7 between the Raptors and 76ers. We've touched on both of those. Thank you for the question. No Frills 86 podcast question. Are you growing a playoff beard? Yes, I am right now, and it's
That's
getting
why
really...
you're kind of playing with it a little bit.
It's annoying, man.
Yeah.
God. But, I mean, if the Raptors lose the next game, I'm debating whether to get rid of it. I don't know.
Question for you. Are playoff beards a thing in basketball?
I don't know, but they are to me.
And there you go.
That's it. Stephen W. Will the Knicks be able to get both Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving? What will they have to give up for Anthony Davis? And you already talked about that. What will be likely to draft? So what team will likely to draft R.J. Barrett? If Knicks draft R.J., will they package him to the Pelicans for AD? That's what you were talking about.
Yeah, I was talking about that. I think that one of 2 of KD or Kyrie Irving is going to go to the Knicks. Definitely not both, but I think one of them are.
Yeah. I personally see that Kevin Durant's going to go there. That's just my personal opinion towards that.
And Kyrie Irving, who knows where he's going to go?
He might go there as well. I wouldn't surprise. He might go back to his little home there with LeBron James in L.A.
No, he did say that he does not want to be in LA.
We've heard that about Kawhi, but no one shuts up about it. So we'll hear about that in a bit. Thoughts on Kawhi versus Giannis? How do you game plan against the Bucks if you were Nick Nurse? If Raps lose the series, will Kawhi stay? Prediction on Golden State versus Portland and Raps versus
Simple
Bucks.
as that.
We already did our predictions on the series.
Don't let Giannis drive.
Yeah, it's easier said than done, obviously, because he's one of the strongest guys out there. But you got to contain that drive. You really do. That's really got to do. So we have Mr. Anonymous here. How many questions do you have? He had a couple. We have one here from him.
I don't know if he can get the Blue Jays wave, to be honest with you.
Well, we'll try. We'll try to get to him there. A prediction on the Raptors versus Bucks series. We already had a prediction on that kind of stuff. You have the Raptors winning in 5 or 6. Well, I mean, they got to win out the rest of the way for it to go in 5. So let's see what happens there. Evan Stack, a major hypothetical Edmund Carasino will be a UFA in 2021. Would you entertain the idea of bringing him back to finish his career, barring Smoke is not in the team in the future?
I would.
I don't think Smoke will be back, and I think for Edwin, it would be great to have him back for a year. It would definitely bring in some more fans.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is about Edwin is that, listen, the guy's, 35, 36 years of age, and by then he's going to be close to 40. Give him a 1-year deal, see what it can do, and then he can retire as a Blue Jay.
Yeah. So Roderick says, do you think Vladdy will be in the All-Star team at this year's All-Star game? If not Vladdy, who would?
Is it the same thing like in hockey?
You have one?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think so. I'm not sure.
I don't think Vladdy. I think Justin Smoke.
Yeah, the Jays had Jay Appico last year. So, yeah, I think you do have to have one. But I don't think it'll be Vladdy. I mean, look, I don't know. Again, it all depends on how he'll play.
But
if he continues to play of late and he continues to hit like this and he hits over 280, 290, then it wouldn't surprise me. But as of right now, no. I think it would be Ken Giles. Ken Giles. He's been spectacular for the Jays, and I think if anything, he'd be the guy to go. True Aaron says, how can the Raptors help Van Vliet and Powell be better and actually show up in the game? Powell was... I liked Powell in the last game. He missed one little layup that I wanted him to get, but other than that, I thought he was pretty good. Van Vliet was terrible. I don't know.
So I don't know they bench him and then throw in Jody Meeks just for a game or something.
Patrick McCaw.
Yeah, you've been beating on that drum, and he's played what, 1 game, I think.
He's a very good defender. He played on the championship Golden State Warriors. He was in the rotation.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Devanish Sunak. I'm hoping I said your name right. How can the Raptors contain Giannis? Hope I spelled the name right. You did, and
don't let him drive. I keep banging on the drum.
Stephen W. Does Zanny Green and Marcus all need to step it up? Yes. Period.
Yeah. I mean, definitely.
And maybe Nick Nurse needs to start Fred for 1 game. I think if you're in a dire situation, you do that. But other than that, I think you keep the same the way it is. Mr. Anonymous, what are your thoughts on the draft lottery with the Pelicans? Yeah, we already talked about the draft lottery and whatnot. Kaz 33-19. Why do the Jays suck? They're young. Period. I mean, it's gonna.
They're young. They're more fun to watch.
It's gonna be like this. It's gonna be like this all year long. You just keep an eye on the young players and kind of go from there. All right. So Blue Jays wave. Not a whole lot of questions he has here for us. Ali on Instagram says, "What year will the Jays be contending, and what do you think the lineup and rotation will be?" The lineup and rotation. Look, it is going to be over the past few years. There's probably like 2 guys that's still in the lineup from a couple years ago. It's going to change. It really is.
Every year.
What year though will they change? I think. Or what year will they be a contender? I think next year they might be banging on the door, and I think in the year after, I think they might be a serious contender. Logan says, "Is Vladdy going to be Rookie of the Year?" I mean, it's hard to say this early on in the season.
Who else is he competing with?
Eloy Jimenez is actually the guy they re-signed on the White Sox. He's actually injured right now, but I don't know. I don't. Wow,
more of a reason why Vladdy should win.
Okay, well, let's just take our time, all right? If Vladdy's got to do his thing and let his play do the talking, but I think he can do it, but all in due time. Smitty _298 says, "Do you think Vladdy will continue last night or fall back into a slump?" I think he sent me these yesterday. Yeah. So he didn't have a great game yesterday, but he did have an RBA and a walk, but I think it's going to continue. I really do. Yeah. Wick.wire. Did Anthony Alford wreck his body playing football? Will he become an MLB star? I don't know. I really don't. Ben Revere is raking in AAA. Call him up. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think you do.
Absolutely.
I mean, it brings in more fans.
Hernandez is sucking the complete wad right now. He went over 4 strikeouts yesterday. He's hitting under 200. He ain't doing really anything. Ben Revere, people. We need him call up. We have 2 questions left here. Cameron says, when will Bichette and Biggio be called to the big leagues? I think Biggio...
September call-ups?
If Bichette is healthy and good, yes, but right now he's still not back from his injury. Biggio, again, he's struggling, I think, right now, like over the last few games, but he's still doing really well. Very soon, I think for Kevin Biggio, Bichette, maybe a little bit longer. Ali says, we already did that question from Ali. So thank you, Blue Jays Wave, Mo Bucks on Twitter, buddy. Thank you very much.
And
follow him up on Instagram, guys. Blue Jays Wave on Instagram. Thank you so much for the questions there, buddy. I really do appreciate it.
Yes,
thank you everybody for all the questions.
Yes, thank you guys. And I guess we're gonna wrap it up.
That's
Episode 19, Season 2 of the Teal Sports Talk podcast. Thank you guys for listening every single week. We'll be back next week.
Now, I'm Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday. Probably Tuesday. Would Tuesday be all right?
I don't know. We'll text.
Okay.
We'll talk.
Okay. We'll talk. Keep it on the DL, you know? Keep it on the
Hopefully not on the IR. Well, no, DL, yeah.
Sorry, the IL. the injured list in baseball.
that's
not the disabled list anymore.
Whatever.
But anyways, so we'll talk to you guys next week, podcast edition in season 2, episode 20 of the TO Sports Talk podcast. And I will talk to you guys Raptors edition tomorrow in game 2 of that series against the Milwaukee Bucks. 8:30 tip-off there in Milwaukee. And as for the Toronto Blue Jays, they start up a 4-game set against the White Sox starting tonight. Marcus Stroman, Dylan Covey are the starters in the game tonight. All right, thank you guys so much for listening. And Evan and I will talk to you guys next week.
Peace.